Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of the Ate Says series. And today is all about setting goals. Now, it's 2020, it's like a new decade, For a lot of us, it means trying something out new, being more brave. A lot of people are like trying to set themselves apart from the last decade, even though you were kids at that decade. So, how do you actually set goals that you push through until the end of the year? Now, I know this is a little bit hard, especially if you haven't done this before. So I am going to walk you through step by step how I set goals. Now, I don't always 100% finish all my goals or hit all my goals. Like one goal I had last year was to do a pull up, and then I still have an injury on my hand that I can't actually I can't make close of my fist the way that I can do on my right hand. So that was the excuse that I used, but I did like hit 59 kilos. So, you know, your goals can change, but you set them so you have something somewhere to go to. That's the main purpose of goals. Because if you're just going through life, you're just going through the motions, um, you never really know what you're going to do next because you don't have an actual path. You're not setting a path for yourself. Now, what I'm going to do in this video is not to set the whole life path. I just want you guys to set your 2020. That's, or whatever year that you might be watching this in. I just want you guys to get to that point where like, yeah, I can get there. I have this big goal or this goal that, and I'm like I said, I'm going to walk you guys through this whole process of how I set my own goals, and how to be also flexible enough to see if it doesn't work for you. Because a lot of the times when we don't know what we want in life, it's just because what you're currently doing isn't something that you actually like, and you just need to do something else. So step one in trying to set your goals for 2020 is celebrate your wins. Now, it sounds weird, but if you can't look back, it's harder to look forward. So my big thing when I'm setting goals with different people, setting goals with employees, my teammates, or with anyone who wants to just like, hey, I want to figure out what I would do with my life. The first one is to celebrate your wins. So actually look back in 2019, the whole decade if you want to, and trying to recount and remember all the things you've accomplished, all the things that you've started. It could be anything. You're starting your own business, starting your own blog, starting to write. It could be anything, as long as it's something that you know that yourself is a step towards what it is that you actually want in life. So celebrate your wins. That's always a main big thing that I believe in so much, is keeping in mind that it is the small step that matters. I always say that, that's why I like have pygmy steps or small steps, because they do matter, because in your head, you've already accomplished this. So you've already overcome so much. This is not something first time that you're doing. You've done it before. You just have to kind of tweak for the new thing that you're doing now. So first one, again, is celebrate your wins. So number two, once you've celebrated your wins, what is your big, hairy, audacious goals, or BHAG? So that's the shortcut of it, so it's easier to remember. It's based off of a book, the word BHAG, and it's basically for 2020. What is the most ridiculous, and I'm saying the word ridiculous not in a bad way, but the biggest thing that could happen in 2020 for you? What is that? It could be that you run for senator in your country, or if that's something that you want. So what is something you want? What is the big thing that you want to happen or you want to do in 2020 that just seems so ridiculous right now? So for me, it's being able to, for example, I have a lot. I'm going to focus specifically career-wise what I want to have in 2020. But for me, the big, hairy, audacious goal that I have is being able to get at least 20 to 30 clients this year, like within the next 12 months. So that's for me. That's my BHAG career-wise. I have so many BHAGs on different aspects of my life. But what is a BHAG that you have right now for 2020? What is a big, hairy, audacious goal that you have that, you can like, oh, I can do that in 2020. If you had all of the resources, all of the money, you have the skills, you have support from people, you can get anything that you need right away, what would that look like? What would that be? So that's your BHAG. That's kind of your overall arching goal. Because for me, reaching 20 to 30 clients in our service business means for me that I could travel, I could meet a lot of new people, I could also be having speaking engagements and then using that speaking engagement to meet more people, to get more clients. So that's it's kind of a very overarching of like, oh, it hits all of my other goals. That's for me. And it took me a while to realize my BHAG. I had to really, really think about it because I wanted one that would hit every other aspect of my life that I wanted to prioritize. So that's my BHAG. Now, a third one is now look at all of the areas of your life. So in the book Code of Extraordinary Mind, Vibhishan Lakhiani, he has the 12 areas of your life. Now, I've created a quick guide that you guys can download right now. Just go to the link in the description box and you can download this small, really short PDF on setting this whole thing of setting your goals. But the big one that you guys will need for this is the 12 areas of your life, because it's so important, because I want you now for the third step to choose 3 different areas you want to focus on this year, because then you are setting goals from your BHAG. You're breaking them down a little bit. So in your BHAG, what are the 3 areas? Now I'm gonna, for me, like for my BHAG, and I just have the PDF right here, so I printed it out. So for my BHAG, it hits adventures. So because adventures is a really big thing for me. It hits my ventures, of course, it hits my career, and then it just hits my like overall like creative life, because then I get to do more videos like this. I get to meet more people. I just flop my PDF right there. I should meet more people. I get to be like always thinking about outside the box to be able to get those 20 to 30 clients. So that's for me. Now, I want you guys to go into and kind of rank all of the 12 areas of your life, and see which are the 3 that you want to focus on this year to be able to hit your BHAG. Now, your big, hairy, audacious goal still seems a little bit ridiculous at this point, but then once you break it down to the 3 different portions of your life, what needs to happen in your, for me, for my career, what needs to happen for my adventure, what needs to happen for my creative life, what are in those 3 areas that I've picked. What are the big things that need to happen, or goals that need to be hit, so I can get my BHAG. So, for example, for my career-wise, it means that I need to have the right people. It means that I need to be able to launch the next business really well, and of course, setting systems. So that's the big one for my career. For my adventure is basically being able to travel out of my time zone. That is my goal adventure. And for my creative life, it's being able to do more videos. I actually have a bit of a number of like 500 videos this year, if I could hit it. But again, that's why you break it down to really big goals from your BHAG. You say, if I hit all those 3, it's easier for me to get my BHAG. Now, once you have that, the 4th step is to actually break it down to baby steps. So out of those 3, what is something that you can keep doing, or small steps that you can do every month? It doesn't have to be every day or every week, but what is something that small steps that you can do every month to be able to hit your goal? So, and you can map it out even, from January to December, if this happens in January, this could happen in February, and so on and so forth. So you can step by step each category that you pick, the 3 areas that you picked. So for example, for the career-wise, step 1 for me is to launch the course that we've been doing for how to outsource. So that's the step 1, because then from there we can get clients. I can start building systems. I can start getting the people. So that's my first baby step. For the adventure-wise, it's me looking at seat sales, because then I can do more small travels, because then that helps me towards more visas, being able to travel more as well. And that's the adventure side. Now on the creative life, it's doing more videos like this, being able to practice talking on the camera, or being able to practice being able to explain my ideas, because then it's easier for me to talk to other people. It's easier for me to meet strangers. So those are the baby steps for each month for me, and that could ramp up and that could be more flexible. So then the last step is, what are the habits you want to try to form to be able to keep those 3 moving? So what are the things that you want to keep doing? Not every day. It doesn't have to be every day. Maybe 3 times a week, 2 times a week. It could be once a week. So what are the more babies of mine, like the smallest steps that you can do to help your baby steps, so you can help get your 3 big goals and then your BHAG. So it's all breaking down, because then if you don't break down your goals into actionable items, then nothing's gonna happen. It's just gonna be something on your vision board that you're never gonna do ever. So what is something that you can do, like the smallest step you can do every day that could move into your baby goals, into your three main goals, and then your BHAG. So create an action plan towards your goal. That's kind of the fourth step, is like, what is the action steps that I could do in the next few days or the next few weeks to help my baby steps? So actually that was technically five. Yeah. So what are the things that like, for example, for me, career-wise, what could I be doing right now? That's small steps of being able to hit my baby step of like launching the outsourcing course that we made. So for me, it's like making sure that all the pages are made, the graphics are great. That's my small steps. It's always changing because it's always moving towards the baby step. So what is something that I could crawl on there? That's a better image. Like, what is something that I could crawl on today so I can get up on my legs and do my baby step? So that's kind of like the fifth part of all of this. So again, you have to celebrate, remember what you did right in 2019. You have your BHAG, you have your three major areas, you have your baby steps for every month, and then now it's the actionable steps. What is something that you can do right now, a few times a week, even just once a week, that will help you move towards your three main goals? Now, the last part is tying this all up. It's tying it in a ribbon that makes it easier for you to remember and think about. And for me, I call it setting a theme. Now, I actually got this from Ariane Serafica. She's this really awesome woman. You should follow her on Instagram. She's like, and I actually just bought her book a few days ago because she came out with a book. It's not here yet. But she has taught like how to set a theme for the year. If your 2020 was a chapter in your life, in your big book of life, how many chapters that would be, what would the theme for 2020 be? So for me, because I did all of this, what I just taught you guys, from my BHAG to the three areas, through my baby steps and my crawling steps. That could be one way that we could say that. I've set my own theme. So I'm going to show you guys a little bit. I'm going to move you a little bit out of this setup that I have. And right here is my theme for 2020. So it's called Light. Because I couldn't pick from a bunch of other terms that I wanted to use. So I have like follow your light. I have light up the world, the inner light, be the light. So I have a lot of different ones up here just because I couldn't pick. So I just picked like, I could go with the word light. And you can see like I broke down, I have all of my baby steps on here. So I have like, and because I included other areas of my life here, like reach 55 kilos or 25% of body fat, is being able to travel outside the country. What's that? Content monster, I can't even read it backwards, but yeah. So those are my baby steps. And then I have within my own, my own crawling steps. What are the small things that I could be doing every month or every week to move me towards helping out my baby steps? So that's basically how Ate sets her goals. That's what I've been doing in the last 3 years. Whenever I want to set goals, and you always have to be. And then this is now the bonus step. You always have to be flexible. You need to see what are different things that don't work in your life when you actually reach that goal. What is something that you didn't actually like doing the process of? Like for example, like I said, one of my goals for 2019 was able to do a pull up, and I couldn't do it because one, I didn't really have the strength for it. Two, I have still this weird injury where I can't close my fist. And I just wasn't ready. So I switched and got another goal, which was, hit 59 kilos before the end of the year. So you always need to look at your goals, because right now you might be setting your goals out of someone else's expectations or something that you saw on TV or something like, oh, that should be fun to do. But of course, later on you find out, oh, it's not for me. So you need to be flexible enough to look at your goals, to assess your goals every month at least, to see if it is still the direction that you want to go to in life. So that was it for this episode. Please know that I do post this on my Facebook, on my YouTube, on my LinkedIn, because I want to give you guys the best information possible that I have practiced in my own life. Now, again, this is Lian Laila Cava, and today's episode was Ate Says Set Goals. And remember that small steps matters.